Hey everybody, Fishalotti here with Fish Review. Today I've got this Tetra Whisper IQ filter. I want to do a little unboxing here, see how this thing works and see what I think about it. Never had one of these before. Had Whisper filters in the past and liked them quite a bit. So I want to give this one a shot and see what's going on. I've taken a look at it already a little bit and it's got some interesting features. We'll get it out of the box here. Okay, so we've got this filter here. It's a compact little unit. This is up for aquariums up to 20 gallons. I've got some 20-gallon tanks here. I'll put it on one of these. And so this filter, we've got this cardboard here. We'll take this off. It's got the power cord in it. Set that aside. It's another one of these filters with a motor that goes inside the aquarium so you don't have to prime it, which is a really wonderful feature if it's done right, because what people complain about with filters the most that I've seen is filters that are hard to prime, filters that won't prime, filters that they don't maybe understand exactly how much water to pour in them to get them going, etc. Or ones that, even if the power goes out, if a filter has to be primed, it might lose its prime and when the power comes back on, not be filtering still. So with filters like this, that shouldn't be a problem. So what we've got here is the filter. Here's the cover that comes off. Take that cover off. It's got a reminder inside of, says which kind of filter replacements to use. It has a filter with it, and it's one of these Whisper filters. We'll open the bag. I guess I don't know when I had my first Whisper filter. It's been a long time, I would say in the 90s probably. So this is the same type of bag that they have. You can take this little plastic clip off, open it up, and when you buy the replacements for it, what happens is you get these bags, okay? Now, it's got carbon in it, so when I take this out, it makes a mess. But it's also got inside of it this extra part that's new to me. Inside this little blue thing is this white tablet thing, which stays there. So that white tablet thing is only really described on the box. It's not on the instructions, and that's called the Stay Clean tablet, which it says on the box is for healthier water and cleaner glass. Beyond that, at this point, I don't know much about it, or if the filter replacements come with those tablets, or if it just stays in there. Perhaps they get replaced as well, because it's certainly easy to remove. So put this filter thing back in the bag, and of course, now that there's carbon in it already, when you replace them normally, you would pour the carbon in later. So I'm just going to have to work that in. No big deal. Do that, and then this clip just clips down on it. It's ready to go. This needs to be rinsed, of course, before we put it in the filter. We don't want that carbon dust going into our tank. This filter also has the pieces that came in it, which is the intake. Okay, so we can put this intake assembly together. Just snaps together like that. And it slides up and down with these little ridges like other filters do to let you adjust how deep this goes in the tank. The instructions tell you to keep this at least 2 inches away from the bottom. And that's good because you don't want it sucking up sand, or when it's too low, they tend to suck up all kinds of things you don't want them to. So you want to have it somewhere higher than that. This intake assembly will attach here at the bottom of the filter, just like that. Just snaps on real easy, and then you can adjust it all you want. 2 hands is better. So we do that and we can have it that way. Now, also in this filter, we have this blue thing, which is a little grid for your beneficial bacteria to live on. That way, when you replace this, you don't have to worry about the fact that you're losing some when you lose this floss, because they'll be growing on it. Some of the beneficial bacteria will still be on the frame of this filter, but then this piece here has a lot of surface area to keep them. So you don't want to scrub this down. You don't want to clean it. The instructions say if it's really clogged up, rinse it under cool water, or I would say possibly in a bucket of aquarium water that's been treated for chlorine. Now we can put this back in here. It goes in like this. It just sits there, okay? The other thing that is important to know is how to clean the impeller on this filter. And when you want to do that, this assembly here doesn't really just snap off. There's some rubber pieces in here that isolate the motor from the housing to keep the noise to a minimum. Not that the motors normally make much noise, but that's something. They could vibrate and do weird things. But if you want to get to the impeller, it's really in here good. So what you need is a little screwdriver, and you can pry on it. If you can see it in the light there, it says to pry here, and you pry right here on this little notch. Now, if only I had a screwdriver. And I do have a screwdriver. Okay, so we'll pry there. And like that, it will be loose and it will fly off into your hands. Okay. Is that it? There it is. Woo. Okay, so what you got to watch out for on this filter, like many others, is that this impeller has the tiniest little black cap. Let me demonstrate. This little black cap I've put here on the instructions so you can see it. I'll put it in my hand. This little thing, as I open the box or the filter or wherever this was, well, I didn't even see it on the impeller. Okay, so it's little, it blends in, looks like a piece of carbon on my table. I knew to look for it. If you didn't know to look for it, you would just think this thing's noisy and stupid. So you've got to have this little black cap. That's important. Here's the impeller. If you had to clean it, you take it out. You clean off all the gunk on it. Best to wipe all the slime off. If you had a brush, brush the fins gently. If you have a really tiny brush, you could brush around the shaft here and get in there. You may not have that. Just make sure that's clean in there when you look. Put that back on. This little rubber guy here, the pointy guy, has to be on here. It just clicks on. It's not real fancy. It just, you'll hear a snap. Snap. Okay, you can't hear it, but I said it. So maybe you could hear it. I doubt that that showed up on the audio. Okay, so there's what it's supposed to look like. I hope that we can see that. I'll get in with this camera. There's what it's supposed to look like in there with that cap on it. Okay, you get a good look at it. Now we'll take and snap this back on. No big deal, just snap it on, it snaps right on. Okay, put the intake back on there, ready to go. One more thing here to note is this flow control knob here, which may be best to show you with the lid on it. So let me put everything back in. The blue thing had fallen out, I'm putting it back in, put the filter in. The filter goes in a slot there. I kind of look at it while I'm doing it. And we put this cover on. Okay, cover seems pretty solid. But here's this knob. Okay, so this knob, when you turn it all the way to the back, there's a little red part that comes up. That's maximum flow. If you turn it down, that's minimum flow. I usually have all mine on maximum, so I'm gonna leave it like that. So all we have to do from here is I need to go rinse out that filter that's in here before we put it in the tank, and we will put this in the tank and fire it up and see what happens next. Now, before I put that filter on the tank, one more thing. If you could hit that like button if you like this video so far, I'd appreciate that. And also it would help you find more videos like this and help other people find videos like this as well. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I'd really appreciate that too. It's right now, at the time of this video, it's a small channel just getting started out, so it really help us out. And if you've already subscribed, that's great. Thanks. I love it. Thanks for being with us here. Okay, I have put this filter on this tank that has my 6 little koi angelfish in it. They've got a sponge filter here. They don't really need this filter, but I had one before that was getting old, so I want to test this one out here. And of course, we'll have to watch out. This Java moss will get sucked up in there too. I've got a power switch rigged up. I would have to plug this in out of reach, so I'm going to flip this switch. This will be the very first time. I have not powered on the filter yet, so here we go. There it goes, on. Minimal noise starting. You can see it's running. I'll shut off the sponge for a second. You can see the water flow with that sponge. See the sponge is off. Okay, there we go. That's a pretty nice little flow in there. Get a good view from here. See, I stirred up all the stuff in the tank, so hopefully that'll clear out pretty soon. So let me give you my final thoughts on this filter. I think number one here is fairly inexpensive. Today I just looked, it was on sale for less than $20. And normally it maybe runs a little over 20, and that could vary with time. But overall, that's cheap for a filter. Another thing is it's very simple. There's not a lot of stuff going on here. With the motor inside the aquarium, you don't even have to prime it. So that's nice. You plug it in, it just goes. If the power goes out, it should come back on. It should just work. Really all you have to do with these is change the filter regularly and keep the water clean. I wouldn't change it more than probably once a month or twice a month if your tank's pretty heavily loaded, would be my guess for these filters. The filter is certainly quiet. I can't hear it over the other noise here in my fish room. As filters go, this is definitely on the quiet side, and the way the water flows out of it into the tank also doesn't make a lot of noise, which is a big factor because some of these filters, they kind of drip into the tank, and that makes more noise. So I'd say if you're looking for a filter, give this one a shot. See what you think. Now, I know I've been gone a while and I've come back, so if you watch this far, maybe you want to hear what's been going on. Where did Fishalotti go? Well, I had to have rotator cuff surgery, so my shoulder was out of commission. It's not all the way there. I can lift it pretty good. I can put my hands above my head. That's an improvement, but it's a long road to be on, so hard to make videos with one arm, so I didn't do it. And I've had some other things going on too, so lost my voice for a week or so. That didn't help. It's pretty much back to normal at this point. And it's been since February, and it's June now, so let's not have breaks like this in the future, please. So, hey, really enjoy everybody here that comes to watch the videos, and I enjoy making them for you, and let me know what you'd like to see. If there's some other filter you'd like to see reviewed, just put in the comments below, and I'll take a look. If it's something I haven't done, if it makes sense, I'll do it. I've done that before and it worked out really well. So please let me know. What do you want to see? So this is Fishalotti signing off. Remember, everybody, keep it fishy and have fun. Thanks.